Good morning, friends and fellow traders. This is Doug Campbell with Right Way Options, and this is a morning market prep video for March 29th, 2022. So guys, I want to apologize. This video will be just a little bit later than normal. I recorded the video once and had a sound problem on it, so I am recording it for the second time, which will make it just a little bit later than normal. I'm sorry about that. But with that being said, how about we settle in, let's buckle up, let's get ready for the Tuesday edition of the morning market prep video. Good morning once again, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I do truly appreciate it. Well, as I suspected, we continue to get that window dressing. Yesterday, we had quite a little bit of volatility with the markets pushing down. The Dow at one point was down 300 points, but they responded all the way back up. And then just that last 2 minutes of surge pushed us to pushed all four indexes into a bullish close in the market, just barely squeaking the Russell up into some bullish territory. So this morning we're trying to gap higher and break through this little resistance in the chart. Again, that window dressing seems to be pretty strong this quarter, and we continue to defy all of the bad news out there economically. We had another record trade deficit, and we are completely ignoring the 5 and 10-year bond inversion at the moment. So how much longer can we continue to do this? I don't know, but I suspect we'll be that way for the next couple of days at least as we continue this window dressing process, and albeit on very extremely low volume in the market. So taking a look at this, as you can see, we've got quite a little bit of upside move here, breaking that downtrend. We've got these resistance levels above that we'll want to be keeping a close eye on as we try to break through. We also want to watch for that possibility that we could see a pop and drop today, because we do have some market moving data later on this morning. Let's take a look at our SPY, also pushing higher, continuing to extend. The big movers in the market yesterday were the big techs. As a matter of fact, it was the predominant move yesterday was those tech giants as they continue to extend and really pushing into higher levels of resistance in the chart. So we'll want to watch that closely. Clearly, we're breaking through resistance levels. We're holding support levels. Watch this resistance up here this morning. Could there be a pop and drop on the economic data that's coming later today, or can we push on through? I think it's about a 50-50 chance that the window dressing is going to overpower, and we're going to choose to ignore anything in that economic data that may appear to be negative. So watch that closely. And then if we take a look at the QQQ, same thing, where the Qs are just pressing. And it is the big tech giants that seem to be getting the most attention in the market, pushing into these significant levels of price resistance in the chart. So once again, we have some price support levels in here to watch for. And as we press these levels and continue to extend, and I think overextend these indexes, we want to be watching for that potential reversal. I want to caution everyone to be really careful not to overtrade and to be thinking that this can never pull back again, because I suspect it will, and I suspect when it does, it will be painful. So watch carefully for that. But you certainly have to give this up to the bulls. They are fighting hard, and albeit extremely low volume, as we continue to extend to the upside. And then if we look at that Russell had a little bit more trouble yesterday, but it ended up closing just barely in the green, and we are pushing back up to test this year-long worth of resistance in that chart. Now, I still have my suspicions that the Russell will be able to break through that big level, but you never know. This window dressing has been pretty powerful, and right now we have an amazing capacity to ignore the economic indicators out there that suggest recession could be just around the corner. Let's take a look at our VIX. Our VIX pushed up yesterday, as you can see, when we were down 300 points. We were heading higher, and then they completely reversed it. Now what that did is it pushed us down to that 20 handle area, and we actually pushed down through this little level of price support in the last 2 minutes of the day as we surged back up. So let's watch this in here. This could serve as that possible place where we get that pop and drop in the overall markets, and we see that possible bounce off of that area. Now, I can't say that's going to be the case, but let's watch carefully for that. I do think it's remarkable that all of these bad numbers out there just don't seem to matter. So watch that closely. It makes me very suspicious of this market, and I would be really watching for that potential reversal to occur at any time. So make sure you're thinking about how you can protect yourself if that does happen. Let's take a look at our T2122, and our T2122 pushed down here toward that 60% area in the chart and with that selling yesterday, and then we pushed all the way back up. This morning with the gap up open, I suspect we're going to gap up and we're going to be right back up here in that bearish reversal zone. And as I mentioned, we've shown that ability that we can hold up here for a period of time before, and I suggested that possibility may occur because of end of quarter window dressing. It looks like that is going to play out here today. But as we gap up here this morning, let's be watchful and careful. That gap up here could certainly create that pop and drop, and we could see that reversal in the market. So don't chase with the fear of missing out when we are so extended in these indexes. Watch that closely. Our T2108 showed a not quite an improvement yesterday, but certainly improved a lot off of the low of the day. Pushed up here, and we didn't quite break out here, but certainly a bullish situation for T2108. But we still haven't been able to break that downtrend. Same thing is true in T2107. We had a good day. We actually pushed on higher. T2107, 37, almost 38% of the stocks pushing back above their 200-day moving average, but we still haven't been able to break through that resistance in the chart of that downtrend. But we're right there testing it, and this is the place where we would want to be watching for that potential reversal. So keep a close eye on that. And then if we take a look at our T2101, I really don't think it's telling us much because volume continues to be extremely light, and what we're seeing is the dark pool activity being consolidated to the market is creating that very strong end of day surge, but volume remains very, very low. So be really careful. If they decide to do a classic rug pull out from under the market, it could be pretty sharp and steep with volumes being so low. So watch that close. Let's take a look at our economic calendar for today. And our economic calendar, we have a couple things here that we're going to want to be paying attention to. We've got Case-Shiller numbers coming out here this morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. We've got consumer confidence, which may be the bigger mover here, which is interesting too that the consensus estimate is actually expecting this to move higher, that the confidence will move higher. And I got to tell you, with consumer sentiment numbers being so low, that seems to be a little bit of a stretch to me, but you never know. So watch that closely. That could be a market mover today. And then, of course, the job openings report, and they're looking at that coming in really, really strong still with a lot of open jobs here in the market. Keep in mind, we have 3 Fed speakers that will be out there yakking their jaw today, and we have a 7-year note auction. And as we continue pressing toward this yield inversion, we're going to want to keep a close eye on those. As you plan forward, remember, tomorrow morning before the market opens, we've got ADP and we've got a GDP number that could really be a market mover. So think about that as you're preparing for the next day. Let's take a look at our earnings calendar. Now, our earnings calendar, we have somewhere around 50 to 60 companies in that earnings calendar. Quite a few of those are unconfirmed reports. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time with this morning, and it's just because I'm behind and I want to get this video out as quickly as possible for you guys. So make sure you click that link just below the title of the video. That'll take you back to get the morning blog. Really quickly, a couple notables we'll want to be paying attention to. Lulu, we've got MU on that list that will be reporting today as one of the bigger notables. MKC is on that list for a notable. Restoration Hardware will also be on that list today. And then there's a lot of very, very small caps in there, not so notable. CHWY, Chewy, will be kind of a notable here this morning to be paying attention to as well. Let's take a quick look at some stocks that could be setting up. But remember, guys, if you could do me that quick favor, if this is the first time you've seen these videos, if you could please click that subscribe button on YouTube, click that bell icon so when I post another video, you'll get a notification and you'll be able to catch that right away. Also, please continue to click those thumbs up buttons, leave a brief comment. That helps the channel to continue to grow, and thank you so much for everyone who does do that. And for those folks that continue to support the channel through Buy Me a Coffee, you guys are truly awesome. I really, really appreciate it. Watch for another live event coming up here soon. Let's take a look at some stock setting up, and please keep in mind, guys, these are not recommendations to buy or sell any security. Make sure you understand carefully your risk tolerance. Make sure they fit your plan. Never ever blindly follow someone else's trade ideas. So with that, guys, talking really fast here because I'm trying to do a shorter video, let's take a look at a couple of these. CRM, as you guys know, I mentioned this one yesterday. CRM, it had quite a little bit of volatility in it yesterday, popping up. This is one that I placed a price alert on. It looks like it's gapping up and pulling back here in the pre-market, but watch that carefully. This is a nice little pattern in what we call a rounded bottom breakout, and tends to be a very profitable pattern for us in hit-run candlesticks and right-way options. So watch that chart patterns, looking pretty good. I'm going to continue to mention PayPal. PayPal continues in that same kind of pattern, very tight consolidation in here, watching for that next potential move. But please keep in mind, it may continue to consolidate over here toward that trend. Watch that closely. I'm going to continue to mention things like steel. Oh my goodness, this steel stock, U.S. Steel, has been very strong, and although we're starting to get that resting pullback here, if we can hold this trend in here, this is the next potential setup that could be coming in U.S. Steel. Now, these are very extended, but I have to say, with the current situation in inflation, I would suspect them to continue to move higher. The same thing with energies. When we look at energies, we had a little bit of pullback on those charts, and we're getting these little resting patterns in energies. Let's watch those closely for those potentials that they could move on higher here in these charts soon. So watch some of those energy stocks. I'm going to have to continue to mention also those commodities out there, or those stocks related to food, agriculture, those kind of things. Take a look at CF. Now, CF is finally pulling back here in the chart. Watch this price support. This has been a very, very strong upside trend here. Watch for that area right in here to see if we can find those buyers again to push back up. It is possible that this may need more consolidation or rest before it gets going again. But I kind of suspect we're going to continue to see those prices escalate as farmers and ranchers continue to be pressed for higher and higher prices in those fertilizer costs. Take a look at Archer Daniels, same kind of thing. Take a look at Mosaic. Whoops. same kind of thing as those fertilizer prices and costs continue to rise very rapidly. So watch these pullbacks for that next opportunity for an upside move in those charts. Continue to take a look. Now I have a bias here. I'm still holding Plug Power. Take a look at those alternative energy stocks like Plug Power. Take a look at TAN, which is a solar ETF that is also setting up here, looking very, very good. Keep a close eye on those. A lot of these alternative energy stocks are looking very, very strong. So with that, everyone, hey, I want to wish you all a fantastic day. I apologize for the fast talking and the quicker video, but I want to get this out as quickly as possible. I wish you guys the very, very best. I wish you great success in your trading today. And let's be a little bit careful as we continue to extend these indexes higher on such low volume. Have a great day, and we'll see you right back here bright and early Wednesday morning.